Off the charts. And we've got another legend to honor. And this man is, really needs no introduction, but we have one for him, another linebacker we're going to bring up. This is one of these kids I saw grow up and play. He wore the maize and blue, and he did a great job, and he's doing even a better job now following in the footsteps of our next inductee. Put your hands together for Cato June.
Good evening. It's time to go home, they say. I have the great pleasure of introducing my coach. I'm actually a surrogate son. My name is Cato June, but I'm getting the dash mark added next week. Cato June Stewart, because I'm an adopted son. Big see, me and Troy have this thing. He coached me. Troy, his Stu's son, he coached me. And he reminds me all the time that, he's responsible for everything that I was able to do. Unlike London, where when he got to the pros and he got rid of 66, got 59, he was happy. I was a cornerback in high school, safety in college. So in high school, I wore number 1. I wore number 2 in college, So when I got that call from the coach, I'm like, okay, DBs usually wear number 20-something, and I'm ready. They said, we're going to take you with this next picture. I'm like, great. They said, what number do you want? And I'm listening. They said, number 58, 59, 93, 98. And I'm thinking, like, that's not DB numbers. I said, man, just give me 59, So I had the great fortune of actually wearing 59 like London, who was an awesome player, undersized linebacker. I just say we're the right size. They say we're undersized. I say we're the right side. But Troy had the great fortune of bringing me to Anacostia. See, my mother, when I moved to D.C., I didn't care. I just wanted to play football. So I moved to D.C., and I was in Howard Upper Bound, and Troy was a counselor. And he saw me out there. And I used to bug him all the time, hey, Troy, I need to lift weights to get ready for football season. I don't know where I'm going to school. I don't care. I just know I need to get ready. And he's, it's okay. And I'm like, no. I need to get ready for football season. I don't know where I'm going to be. I got to be ready. So apparently he tells his father, hey, man, we got this kid over here. He doesn't know where he's going. He's a pretty good athlete. You need to come look at him. Stu's like, yeah, whatever. Heard it all before. So he finally comes over there, checks me out, and, they come to my mother's house and the whole spiel. He brings these tapes, the VHS tapes, because all the NFL Network and HBO specials that he had, brings us to my mom. Said, I'm not sending my kid to Anacostia. And I'm looking at him like, Mom, I just want to play football. She's like, my son's going to Banneker. I said, Mom, they don't got a football team. And so Stu, he's whining and dining and doing everything. So he finally convinces her to send me to Anacostia. Now, everybody's familiar with the Southeast area. It's not the most attractive area, at least at that time, in terms of sending your kid to school. So people look at my mother like, what are you doing? And I look at that personally as one of the best decisions in my life. Leaving Oklahoma, coming to D.C., getting the opportunity to play for a legend, thanks to Troy. I'll always give him credit for him bringing me to Coach Stu. And just making that decision of being around a great person. We all know the numbers, how many games he won, how many championships he's been in, 13, won 7. I was a part of a couple of those. But to me, his greatest impact has been on the community and the people that he comes in contact with. Everybody loves Stu. Everybody loves Stu. Everybody I've ever been around has had the great fortune of saying, being around him for 5 minutes, says, the same things. And people don't say the same things about you over and over and over again. He had this saying, you are what you put on tape. And I really believe that, over Coach Stu's lifetime, the tape that he's put together is one that's legendary, one that's a Hall of Fame, and one that I can be proud to say, hey, I played for him. Played for some great coaches. Played for Lloyd Carr. Played for Tony Dungy. Played for John Gruden, Lovie Smith. Great coaches. But the most memorable one to me has always been Coach Stu, because it was never about him. It was always about the kids. It was always about the team. It was always about trying to make you a better person. And that's, you think about the countless people he's helped get into college and given the opportunity when no one in the city believes in you. No one in the city gives you opportunity. To them, you don't have a chance. But Stu always believes, in his team, in his players, in an opportunity. And that's what I'm most grateful for, being able to play for him, is that the opportunity that he gave me to go out and, be great. And it was never about his best players. Eric James is in the house, one of his former greats, University of Maryland guy. Nothing against University of Maryland. They're coming to the Big Ten. God bless you. Great decisions, by the way, the two Big Ten guys in the room. Good luck when you guys play Michigan. But, I just really appreciate, I want to, send appreciation to Miss Stewart as well, because she had to share her husband with hundreds of young men that didn't have a father figure, and really still to this day, when they see Stu, it's like they're seeing their dad. I remember when we were dedicating the stadium over there in Southeast D.C., it's now Willie Stewart Stadium. So I called Troy, and that's. Usually they wait till you die to name a stadium after you. But when I became the coach, I said, if there's one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get that stadium named after him. And, people look at me, you can't do that, D.C. rules. I said, okay, well, fire me and stop me. so I called Troy, and we're going back and forth. And I'm saying, we're talking about the banner. I said, hey, Troy, what you think we should put? Coach Stu, he's like, well, his name is Willie Stewart Jr. I said, Troy, his name is not Willie Stewart Jr. He's not a junior. His name is Stu. His name is it's just Coach Stewart. I know, it's my dad. And then he gets mad at me. It's my dad. I know my daddy's name. I said, well, I'm a son too, man. So we finally got that done. And I, it was one of those moments where, if you were there, you understood what he meant to that community and what he means to that community. 200-300 former players at the 50-yard line, watching the banner go up. It's not a greater moment to me in one of my playing history, coaching history, to see that banner go up and to see the appreciation that he's done. The appreciation that I have for him and the things that he's done for our community. So without further ado, I want to bring up the legendary Willie Stewart Jr.
Good evening. I promise you I won't be long, as some other people that were up here. First of all, let me thank the Touchdown Club for this prestigious award. When Mr. Beck called me and informed me about the award program, I was in shock. I've always followed the Touchdown Club. I've had the fortune of having 6 of my former players honored as a Timmy Award winners, and I was proud of that. I always enjoyed going to the Touchdown Club banquet, so I'm glad it's back. I'm looking forward to going. There's so many people I want to thank, that were beneficial in me getting where I am. I would love to stand up here and tell you I was a hell of a coach, knew it all, but you coaches know, if you don't get the players, you can forget it. But I was fortunate enough to have some outstanding players in Southeast Washington. We've always had great athletes over there, but they just weren't serious about the academic part. Football, basketball, baseball, great. Class, duck out on you. So that was my challenge, getting them to see that they could use their athletic ability to get them to the next level, get them out of Southeast, right, Cato? Southeast. So that's what I was extremely proud about. I've had some great coaches that work under me, that end up becoming head coaches, Bobby Richards, Frank Young, Cato June. I'm extremely proud of that. I've had the fortune of having 20 of my former players going to the National Football League and the Canadian Football League. And again, those guys were great athletes, but they also took interest in the academics. That's why they were able to take advantage of an athletic scholarship, and that's what made me feel extremely proud. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me being away, going on recruiting trips for my players, spending all those hours with my players, and that was my sons. One story, my oldest son, Troy, I'm going to tell it. My oldest son, Troy, went to Archbishop Carroll. Now, I'm coaching at Anacostia, so I'm sure my first son is going to play for his dad. Mother said, no, he's not. Because you're not going to be hollering at my son, embarrassing my son on the football field. So he went to Archbishop Carroll Morgan. I took him to Mars Collins. I said, Mars, I got a prospect for you. Who is it? I said, my son. He's not going to play for you? No, his mother won't let him. True story. True story. So every day we sit at the dinner table. I look at Troy. I said, well, you should be playing for me, playing at Carroll. And then, of course, we put Carroll on the schedule. And they beat us every year that Troy was there. His senior year, he scored a touchdown and waved at it on defense, picked up a fumble. And of course, I'm mad because he's waving at his dad. I said, you won't get another dime out of me for an allowance. So my middle son and youngest son, played for me at Anacostia. They swore on a stack of Bibles that they work hard in their classes and keep their grades and everything, and they did. So I had opportunity to coach Coach Gallagher, two of my sons during my coaching career at Anacostia. I just couldn't get the first one to play for me until an all-star game the summer of his senior year. We had a DC Coaches All-Star game. So Troy played for me, so I got an opportunity to coach him once in his 4-year career. So, but again, I've had a great run of coaching. I enjoyed it, the long hours. But again, I just wanted the guys to succeed and take advantage of their God-given ability and go on to college and no telling what is going to happen once they got there. Unfortunately, a lot of them did well. Not all of them. I'm sorry to say, not all of them made it. I lost a few of them along the way for whatever reason, being out there in the fast lane, just being hard-headed. Wouldn't listen. Everything is, how it is now. Everything is, I know. If you knew, then why did you do such and such? So I don't want to hear that. But again, we can't say the word, but we try. And that's been the fun part of it. Again, thank you, Touchdown Club. Lovely trophy, honorees, congratulations. You high school guys, you all met in D.C. Just remember, when you go to Purdue and Penn State and Tennessee, your new teammates, all state, all conference, all world. They play football in those places also. So just listen, don't tell a coach, I know my coach in high school told me, no, that's over with now. Wipe that out. You got to listen. And I'm sure you guys will be very successful. We'll be following you your next 4 or 5 years in college. If you're red-shirted, don't be upset. If you're not going to play as a freshman, Why waste a whole season playing 3 or 4 plays, maybe 10 plays for a 12-game season, when you can redshirt, let those guys ahead of you graduate, and you have a 12-game season to play? So that's the big problem with the DC kids. We think we invented football, and we didn't. But you'll find out when they test all the freshmen and you go in the weight room with that 225 and do about 10 of them, and a guy from Louisiana or North Carolina do about 30 of them. And you be in awe. Again, thank you for staying around for the presentation. And again, take care, Doc.
Coach Stu. Coach Stu.